All right, you guys. So TTV Network, like, share, and subscribe. Y'all already know what it is. I don't really need to do that much of an intro, man. All the links in the description box below this video, and let's get right into it. Make sure y'all subscribe, share the video, like it. Joe Biden. We're gonna talk about the controversies and scandals that have been surrounding this guy, as he has been able to skate a lot of criticism throughout, his career. And I feel like it's important to point this out to show you the type of guys that are being put into leadership positions in our country. So Joe Biden, who was the 46th president of the United States, had a political career spanning over, 50 years, beginning as a senator from Delaware in 73, serving as the vice president under Barack Obama from 09 to 2017, and culminating in his presidency from 2021-2025. That's right, he's a one-term president. Throughout this time, Joe Biden has faced numerous scandals and controversies ranging from personal allegations to policy decisions that drew widespread criticism. Now, while some accusations have been substantiated through investigations or admissions, others remain unproven or politically motivated. Now, we're going to talk about and examine the issues chronologically in this story right here, where, I went through various sources, and I'm going to provide you guys with an overview of the scandals, the outcomes, and, Joe Biden's, defenses towards these scandals. Now, he's had plagiarism and exaggeration scandals. Biden's first major scandal emerged during his academic years and resurfaced in his early political ambitions. Now, in 1965, while at Syracuse University College of Law, Joe Biden plagiarized a law review article in a paper, leading to a failing grade in the course. He later appealed, and the grade was expunged, but he admitted the incident was not malevolent. We'll just put it like that, right? Now, this issue gained national attention during his 87 presidential campaign, when media reports revealed that he had plagiarized speeches, including passages from British Labour leader Neil Kinnock, without attribution. Now, Joe Biden also exaggerated his academic record, claiming 3 college degrees, a full scholarship, and top half class ranking, claims that were false. They was a lie, y'all. He withdrew from the race in September of 87 amid that backlash. Now, a Delaware Supreme Court review cleared him of ethical violations, but the scandal damaged his credibility. Now, Joe Biden's propensity for embellishment continued, with claims of marching in the civil rights movement later debunked. These early missteps set a pattern of legal gaffes and factual liberties that critics have cited throughout Joe Biden's career. Now, as a chairman of the Senate Judiciary Committee in 91, Joe Biden oversaw Clarence Thomas Supreme Court confirmation hearings. Anita Hill, as you guys all remember her, she accused Clarence Thompson of sexual harassment. But Joe Biden was criticized for not allowing corroborating witnesses to testify and for his handling of her allegations. Now, women's groups and liberals accuse him of mishandling the process, contributing to Thomas's narrow confirmation. In 2019, Joe Biden apologized to Mrs. Hill, but she deemed it insufficient, which she should have, because he's capping. He did that we know why he did that. Want to get elected. So Biden's opposition to court-ordered school busing for racial integration in the 1970s drew ire from civil rights advocates. He sponsored legislation limiting federal funds for busing, arguing it was ineffective, which aligned with his constituents but alienated progressiveness. Now, this stance was revisited during his 2020 campaign, where opponents labeled it anti-integration, right? It's Joe Biden. The 1994 Violent Crime Control and Law Enforcement Act, which Biden championed, included provisions for tougher sentencing and prison expansion. Now, critics later blamed it for mass incarceration, particularly affecting black communities. Now, Joe Biden expressed regret, calling parts of the bill a mistake. Now, in 2005, Joe Biden supported the Bankruptcy Abuse Prevention and Consumer Protection Act, criticized for favoring credit card companies, including Delaware-based MBNA, a major donor, and making it harder for individuals to discharge debt. Consumer advocates argued that it exacerbated financial hardships. Now, throughout his career, right, Joe Biden has faced accusations of inappropriate touching, which we're going to get back to that in just a second, right? He's faced these allegations, and I want everybody to see what I'm talking about when I'm talking about this, right? Inappropriate touching, okay? Now, in 2019, several women, including former Nevada lawmaker Lucy Flores, alleged that he made them uncomfortable with hugs, kisses on the head, or shoulder rubs. Joe Biden acknowledged the complaints, joking about them in speeches, but pledging to respect personal space. No formal charges resulted, and supporters viewed it as outdated but non-malicious behavior. So basically, you got a pass. A more serious allegation came from Tara Reid, a former Senate aide who in 2020 accused Joe Biden of sexually assaulting her in 1993. Now, Reid claimed that Biden penetrated her digitally in a Capitol hallway. Biden denied the allegation, and investigators found inconsistencies in her story, including changing details over time. Now, no charges were filed, but the claims resurfaced during this campaign, with Reid later defecting to Russia, right, amid scrutiny. Now, one of the most persistent controversies involved Joe Biden's family, particularly his son, Hunter Biden. Now, Hunter's business dealings in Ukraine and China raised allegations of influence peddling, right? So, Republicans claim that Joe Biden, as vice president, pressured Ukraine to fire prosecutor Victor Shokin to protect Hunter Biden, citing that Biden's 2018 admission of withholding aid until Shokin was removed. However, the firing aligned with U.S. and international anti-corruption efforts, and no evidence directly linked to Joe Biden's personal gain. House investigations revealed that Joe Biden family members received over $1 million from Hunter's associates, including wires from China. A 2023 impeachment inquiry accused Joe Biden of abusing his office, but it yielded no charges. Now, Hunter Biden was convicted on gun and tax charges in 2024, which his daddy, Joe Biden, pardoned him from, drawing accusations of corruption, which it should have, because that was corrupt as hell. Everybody else got to do time for it. Why can't your son? But you're supposed to be a leader, and people gonna make excuses, sitting up here talking this lame ass talk about, oh man, but I'm gonna tell you something, Tiki. Well, see, if that was your son, if you're a leader of the free world, hey man, you do the crime, you do the time. It don't matter who it is. You the leader of the free world. You're a leader of the. Like I said before, when you a leader and a real leader, everybody got to follow the rules. Don't matter if it's your family or not. You can't have no favorites. Can't pick none. But people was okay with that on Joe Biden's side. Joe Biden justified the pardon as politically motivated prosecution. So he tried to say, hey, man, they did this because they didn't like me politically. So, nah, your son got found guilty and convicted on gun and tax charges. Okay, buddy? That shouldn't even be a question when that's your son. Why are they should not even be able to have nowhere near any type of proof of that when that's your son. That's your son. He shouldn't have no dirt on him like that. An FBI informant, Alexander Smirnov, falsely claimed that Burisma paid the Bidens $5 million each. Now, he was charged with lying in 2024. Despite this, conservatives maintain the family profited from Biden's position, right? Now, you also had the classified document scandal. Now, in 2023, classified documents from Joe Biden's vice presidency were found at his Delaware home and a think tank office. Now, special counsel Robert Hur investigated, concluding no charges were warranted, but describing Biden as an elderly man with a poor memory. Now, critics compared it to Donald Trump's case, noting differences in cooperation. The scandal fueled questions about Joe Biden's fitness, right? Now we go into the foreign policy. The Afghanistan withdrawal is the 2021 withdrawal from Afghanistan for the USA was chaotic, with the Taliban rapidly overtaking Kabul, leading to a deadly evacuation. Unaliving situation explosion killed 13 U.S. service members, and Joe Biden took responsibility but defended that decision, blaming intelligent failures, right? Now, bipartisan criticism labeled it a foreign policy disaster, damaging the United States' credibility. And then we go to the border security and immigration issues. Now, Joe Biden's administration faced record migrant encounters at the southern border, drawing accusations of a lax enforcement. Now, conservatives called it a crisis, while liberals criticized deportations. The 2024 House resolution condemned the handling. Biden implemented restrictions, but the issue persisted as a political liability. Now, the pardons and the clemencies. Again, Biden issued more pardons than any president, including controversial ones like Hunter Biden's and figures in public corruption cases. For example, Kids for Cash judge Michael Conahan, I guess that's how you pronounce his name. Victims express outrage. Now, he also pardoned family members and allies like Anthony Fauci, citing fears of retaliation. Critics accused him of nepotism and abuse of power, right? Now, what about the health cover-up, you guys? Everybody know about this. Allegations that emerged that Joe Biden's aides concealed his cognitive decline, including a cancer diagnosis. Now, the House probes interviewed aides, and reports suggested a cover-up. Now, Hur's report amplified concerns about his memory. This scandal intensified debates about his fitness for office, right? Now, the auto pen usage controversy. Now, Joe Biden's use of an auto pen for signing pardons and clemency drew scrutiny, with critics calling it a constitutional scandal. Now, Donald Trump ordered an investigation alleging aides forged signatures amid Biden's health issues. Now, Biden defended it as standard practice, right? Now, racial and verbal gaffes. Now, Biden's comments have sparked outrage, such as calling segregationist senators civil, and in 2019, or telling black voters, "You ain't black," if undecided in 2020. He apologized for the latter statement. In 2007, he described Barack Obama as an articulate and bright and clean, seen as racially insensitive, right? Now, I want to go back and talk about some of these, just in depth a little bit, the sex scandal, right? The one he had with Tara Reid, specifically, publicly, alleged in 2020 that he sexually assaulted her in 93, right? The staffer Tara Reid. Now, in 2020, I should say, multiple women, as I told y'all before, has said that Joe Biden's touching her hugs made them uncomfortable. Most described invasions of personal space rather than sexual assault. Now, in March of 2020, Tara Reid went further and accused Joe Biden of sexually assaulting her in 93 while she was a Senate staffer. The allegation received wide media attention and follow-up reporting. Now, Biden has denied that claim. Now, major news organizations investigated and reported mixed feelings. Some contemporaries said they had not seen corroborations. Others reported people who recall Reid complaining about inappropriate behavior years ago. reporting did not produce definitive legal proof and no criminal charges were filed, right? So basically, you had the early accounts of unwanted touching back in 2019, right? So in March of 2019, a New York Magazine piece, Lucy Flores, like I told y'all about that lady, she recounted that in 2014, Joe Biden smelled her hair and kissed the back of her head during a campaign event. The hell is that on? Think about this, y'all. Shit is crazy. Throughout April of 2019, several women, including former staffers, came forward with claims of feeling uncomfortable due to Joe Biden's attentiveness, such as touching shoulders, holding too long, or invading personal space. Joe Biden responded with a video apology, acknowledging changing social norms and promising to be more mindful. Now, Tara Reade's initial statement back on April the 3rd, 2019, she told a California newspaper that while working in Biden's Senate office in 93, he had touched her on the shoulder and run his finger up her neck, making her uncomfortable, right? Now, as far as the March 25, 2020 on the Katie Halper Show podcast, Mrs. Reed escalated her account to allege that in the spring of 93, Biden pinned her against a wall, kissed her, placed his hand under her skirt, and digitally penetrated her. Now, on April the 9th, Mrs. Reed filed a police report in Washington, D.C. of that year, citing safety concerns despite the statute of limitations having passed. The case was classified as inactive. It's amazing. So, in mid-April, major outlets, including the New York Times, the Washington Post, and the AP, published investigation pieces. Several individuals said that Reed had previously mentioned discomfort in the early 90s, but no additional sexual assault allegations were located. Now, Biden's former staffers generally reported no memory of any such events. Now, on April the 24th, The Intercept disclosed that Reed's mother had called in Larry King Live and in August of 93 saying that her daughter had problems at work with a prominent senator, right? Now, in late April, Reed claimed to have filed a complaint with the Senate Personnel Office in 93. However, the Secretary of the Senate said on May 4th of that year that they could not release any documents due to confidentiality restrictions. That's crazy work. You got a guy running for president. This type of stuff that you dealing with. Now, on May the 1st, Joe Biden of that year, 2020, Joe Biden publicly denied the allegations in an interview on Morning Joe, saying plainly that it never happened. Now, on May the 2nd, Mrs. Tara Reade, the day after that, said that the report she had begun filing with the congressional personnel did not use terms like sexual harassment or assault. Now, by May the 22nd, her attorney, Douglas Wigder, announced that he would no longer represent her, right? So that is pretty much what happened in these situations with former President Joe Biden. You know what I mean? These are some of the scandals and some of the allegations that he has faced throughout his career. I want y'all to let me know what y'all think, man. That's why I tell y'all on my channel, man, I don't be trusting none of these cats, man. Real talk, I don't put my favorite on them cats, man. These cats who got all these scandals up on them, and they be getting elected to the highest office in the land. Trust me when I tell you this. And every time somebody come with an allegation, it's all, everybody lying. They say all these chicks be lying. They all lying, man. Like, share, subscribe. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comment section, man. Peace. Hey, I really appreciate you guys for supporting the channel, supporting the network. Like, share, and subscribe. Once again, there are links. Get the free membership on our website. That way you guys won't miss any of our news update stories or videos. They're all on the website, ticketvmedia.com. You go over there. You can go right to the members part and become a free member. That way you guys will get all the updates. Also, Straight Drought Weight Loss Formula. Make sure y'all go tap in and copy some of that, as well as subscribing to our podcast show. Link will be pinned at the top of the chat down there below. And also, we just appreciate all y'all who support the channel. Cash App, PayPal.